Welcome to Catalyze, the Connected Leaders Academy virtual conference designed to reshape your vision of transformation. As we navigate the evolving business landscape, our speakers will unveil innovative strategies to manage and initiate change. Prepare to adapt, innovate, and lead, ensuring your role as a catalyst in this transformative era.
Hello. My name is Autrina Tillman, and I am with Be Intentional Coaching. And today I want to talk to you a little bit about how to turn your passion into profit. You know, small business ownership is the single most overlooked benefit in the United States of America. A lot of people immigrate here from other countries for the American dream, and the American dream here is there are so many benefits when you want to make your dream a reality, or you have an idea and you want to make it a small business. But a lot of us natives, unfortunately, we do a lot of hustling. So we have, our candle making business and our crochet business, but none of it is registered and we're not benefiting from it. So what I do as your favorite business coach is I teach people how to make their ideas a reality as far as business is concerned. And I teach them how to structure their businesses. I teach them how to brand their businesses. I teach them how to fund their businesses so that they're not using their own money to make their dreams come to fruition. So I just want to talk a little bit about that. I heard somebody say one time that you have to be findable in order to be fundable. So I have a program called 100K in 90 days. And once I teach people how to structure or restructure their business, I also teach them how to make sure they're getting funding for their business. And structure is very important when it comes to funding, when it comes to benefiting from tax deductions and the different benefits that you get from having a business here in the good old United States. And I want to talk to you a little bit about that structure. So I'm going to jump right in and let you know that when you first get a business, the most important thing in the beginning is your business name. And a lot of people don't know that there's something called a high-risk business name that you want to make sure you stay away from. And I'm going to give you an example. I have another company called Tillman Group and Associates, LLC, and it's an insurance company. Well, for 7 years, the name of that business was Tillman Group Financial. And I would go to the bank and try to open up a bank account and try to get loans and try to get funding and try to get credit cards. And I either was getting denied or I was getting people to tell me they'll give me $2,000 or $3,000 or $5,000. And I had a banker finally sit me down and say, your name is the reason why you're not getting funding for your business. Your name is Tillman Group Financial. Financial is a high-risk name, and it stops banks from giving you money because it feels like you're in a high-risk industry. If you don't know a lot about high-risk names and high-risk industries, make sure that you Google that and find out more about it. I don't have time to go deep into it, but I will tell you certain names like trucking, transportation, financial. These are considered high-risk industries, and a lot of banks and companies won't give you money for those types of names. A lot of times you want to make it generic. So like the name of my company is Be Intentional Coaching. So you want to make the name generic sometimes, even if you're in a high-risk industry. So let's say, for instance, you're in trucking. Instead of calling your company Tillman Transportation or Tillman Trucking, I may call my company Tillman Logistics or Tillman Enterprises. So although my brand is going to be trucking, my name is going to be generic or general, and it's not going to be considered high risk to the businesses. There's a few other things that you want to have initially to structure your business properly to get funding. So your name is one thing. The other two important things or three important things is your address. So a lot of people, when they first start their businesses, they use their home address if they don't have a brick and mortar company. This is another thing that's high risk in 2024. If you have your home address for your business, that doesn't mean that you can't have a business. That doesn't mean that you won't get some funding, but it literally could be the difference between you getting $20,000 initially when you start your business or $200,000 when you start your business. So instead of having a home address, you can have a virtual address. Just a little tidbit, a couple of places you can go and get a virtual address would be regus.com, Regus, opus.com, OPUS. You could go to Anytime Mailbox and get a mailbox for as cheap as $7.99. What you don't want to do is get a P.O. box. So don't go to the post office, to USPS, because P.O. boxes are not recognized for most funding companies, most banks, most grants, most government contracts. You don't want to have a P.O. box, but you can have a virtual mailbox. And the three that I just gave you are three of the top ways for you to get a virtual address. So rule of thumb: first name, second address, third phone number. A lot of people use personal phone numbers for their business. I did it wrong for 7 years. I was giving out my personal phone number for people to call me for business purposes. You don't want to do that. You want to have a separate business phone number, preferably an 800 number. 800 number says this is a business. So you want to have a separate phone number, definitely, but preferably an 800 number. And a couple of different places you can get an 800 number would be Ring Central or Grasshopper. So that's just two places. Of course, there are more, but Grasshopper and Ring Central, you can get an 800 number, and those come for about $14 to $20 a month for you to have that consistent phone number. And that 800 number, if you don't have a brick and mortar and you're just virtual or working from home mostly, that 800 number rings to your personal cell phone. So you're not missing anything. Okay. So you want to make sure you have a good non-high-risk business name. You want to make sure you have a good phone number, a good address, professional email address. That's another one. So you want to make sure that you have a professional email address. And I know, because I've done it for many years, we get by with our Gmails and our Yahoos and our iClouds, but that's not a professional business address. So unless you're just lucky enough to have been in business for 10 or 20 years, you have a lot of revenue, you have a lot of stability, and you figured out how to get money. If you're brand new starting your business, I want to show you how to do it the right way, so you don't have to go through a lot of time and have high revenue before you get six-figure funding. So what you want to do is you want to have an email with your business handle on it. So again, you have to go much more in depth than this, but I just want to give you enough in this 25-minute session for you to be able to get a handle on what you need to do. You want to make sure you got a business handle. The best place to go to get your own domain name for your email is GoDaddy. So you can go to godaddy.com and you can create a domain name for your business, and that will be your handle. So for instance, my handle for my my business, my other business, is Tillman Group. So my email address is a.tillman@tillmangrp.com, and my website is tillmangrp.com. So when you go to my email, it is a.tillman@tillmangrp.com, not a.tillman@gmail.com or a.tillman@yahoo.com. It is my business handle. My other business, Be Intentional, is coaching at beintentionalwithautrina.com, because my website is beintentionalwithautrina.com. So you want to make sure you have a professional email address, because that is what you need to look like a professional business and not a fly-by-night or a hustle, or not just you're playing with your business. So you want to make sure you have that. After you have your name, your address, and your phone number, you want to make sure that you are registered with your Secretary of State. Now, I'll tell you, a good place to go and register with your Secretary of State would be llcuniversity.com. So if you don't know exactly how to go in and register your business with the Secretary of State, you can go to llcuniversity.com and it will walk you through everything that you need to register your business. And when you register your business, it's important that you have your name, your phone number, your email address, and your address, because you're going to need that stuff to put on your registration with Secretary of State. And the reason why you want all this stuff to be business and not personal is because this is public information as well as for funding purposes. So when I go to your Secretary of State in your state and look you up, it's going to show me everything that you registered. So if you put Autrina Tillman and your home address on there, when I go, I can see your name and your home address. So if I'm mad at you, if I want to sue you, if I just want to stalk you, it's public information. That's one of the other reasons why you want to make sure that you have a business address, a business phone number, and a registered agent or a different name on your Secretary of State information, okay? Once you have registered your LLC, you want to get your employer identification number or your EIN number. You can go to irs.gov to get that. It's free for you to get an EIN number. Your EIN number is for tax purposes. So you want to make sure that you have your EIN number for your business. Once you have all of that, guess what? You have a business that's registered. So now you can move about, we can brand you, we can fund you, and we can make sure that you are turning your passion into profit. So after your name, address, phone number, after you're registered, the next thing that you want to do is you want to brand yourself. You have to be findable in order to be fundable. And fortunately for us now that we have all of the internet activity, social media, internet is so prominent. Not only are your customers or your clients or your friends going to go to your Facebook page, your LinkedIn page, your Instagram page to find out about you and to find out if you really have a business. But guess what? So are the banks and funding companies and grant organizations and government contract organizations. So all these people are going to go to your social media, to your LinkedIn. They're going to try to find out who you are and if what you're saying is real. So if I tell you I have the best coaching company in the world, and you go to all my social media platforms, and all you see me doing is partying every night, and you don't see anything about Be Intentional, anything about coaching, anything about seminars, then you're probably going to say, yeah, she probably doesn't have a business, because on her LinkedIn, it's not showing anything except for her attending the frat parties. So this is what they do. They look at your social media, they look at your LinkedIn, they look to see who you are. So you have to make sure that your business is branded to give you credibility with your customers, to give you brand recognition, and so that you're able to get funding from the banks, the funding companies, the grant companies, and the contracting companies. So you want to make sure you're branded. So that's another thing that we do, is we help people. You want to make sure you have professional headshots. So you want to do some type of photo shoot, especially if you are a people-facing business. You want to make sure that you have a website that is going to be a representation of your business and who you are. And you want to make sure that you are findable on the 411 directory. So you can go to listyourself.net. That's listyourself.net. And you can actually put your business on there so that the banks and funding companies and clients can find you. And you want to make sure you have a Google presence, because guess what? Everybody goes to Google now. So if you have a Google presence, then they'll be able to find you as well. So you want to be findable. And for most of us, especially if we're people facing, like I said earlier, you want to make sure that you have social media accounts, and preferably have a separate one for your business, unless you're like me and you post everything on your social media account basically about your business. You can also intertwine your family life and your travel life so people can get to know you if you're a people-facing business, but you definitely want to have your business aspects on your social media platform, because they're going to look for it. Your clients are going to look for it. The companies are going to look for it. The funding companies are going to look for it. So you want to make sure you have that right. Okay. Now, I want to talk a little bit about funding. So once you have all of this in place, you have your business structured correctly, you've branded yourself, you have a logo, you have and let me tell you this, in order to get a logo, in order to get a website, a lot of this stuff, especially if you're on a budget, you can go to Fiverr, Fiverr.com. And Fiverr.com has many freelance people on there that will help you with your logos, your websites. I just helped one of my clients get a logo for $10. So you can get on Fiverr.com and find freelancers for as low as $5 or $10. And of course, that's a minimalist logo, but it was a very pretty logo. So Fiverr.com is a place you can go and find people to do logos, websites, ebooks, almost anything that you need as far as technology and digital content is concerned. You can get it off Fiverr, especially if you're building on a budget. Okay. So I just wanted to tell you that. So you want to make sure that you have your structure, you have your branding. And now I want to make sure that you know a little bit about funding before we finish this. So you need to set up some business bank accounts. Okay. You don't want to intertwine your personal life and your business life. So from the very beginning, you want to make sure you have business bank accounts. Okay. So as soon as you set up your LLC and your EIN, you can walk into a Bank of America or a credit union or a small regional bank, and you can say, hey, I want to open up a business bank account. My recommendation is that you have 3 business bank accounts. And if you continue to follow me, I can tell you more about why later. But you want to have a big business bank account. So like a Bank of America or a Chase are my recommendations. You want to have a regional business bank account like a Truist or a First Citizens or a United Community. And you also want to have a credit union bank account. So like a Navy Federal or a Digital Federal Credit Union or some credit union. And you have to make sure that you vet your credit unions because some of them only do personal banking. And with your credit union, you want to have a personal and a business bank account. So the reason why you want to have 3 business bank accounts is because you can credit stack with your businesses. So if you have good personal credibility, you can go here and you can open up a business bank account, and then you can say, I need funding for my business, because you do not want to use your personal money to fund, start, structure, or scale your business. You want to use other people's money. Other people's money is going to be the banking and the funding companies. So I walk into Bank of America, open up a business bank account. My personal credit is great. It's anywhere from 680 and up. I pay my bills on time. I don't have late payments. I don't have derogatories. The bank is going to look at my personal credibility and they're going to say, okay, well, we'll go ahead and trust them to give them some money to get their business going because it looks like they pay their bills on the personal side. Now, one of the benefits of this is, although they're looking at your personal credibility to give you a business credit card or to give you business funding, that debt is not going to show up on your personal credit. So that's one of the beauties of having business credit. So if Bank of America gives you your account, gives you your business bank account, and then turns around and gives you a $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 business credit card with a 0% interest for 18 months that you can use to start and grow and build your business, that $20,000 as you're using it does not show up on your personal credit. So when you go to buy a house or to buy anything with your personal credit, it's not counted in your debt utilization. And so it's not affecting you. So you're not crossing up your personal and your business life when it comes to financing. And that's what you want. So if you go to Bank of America and you open up your account and you get funding from them. They may give you, I think when I went at first, they gave me a $20,000 credit card. So I didn't have to use my personal credit card and my personal money. And then you do the same thing at Navy Federal or DCU or whatever credit union you're with. You open up a business bank account. With the credit union, you usually want to build at least a 30-day relationship with them, but you do the same thing. You ask them for funding for your business. They give you another $10,000 to $30,000. And then you do the same thing with a regional bank. So you go to your First Citizen or your Truist, you open up a business bank account. And by the way, you can have as many business bank accounts as you want. Of course, you want to be smart and not get more than you can keep up with, but you can have as many as you want. And you want to make sure that if possible, you go to places where they'll give you business bank accounts where you don't have to put a lot of money in them to not have to pay maintenance fees, okay? So you do the same thing at the regional bank. Go in, open up your bank account, and you get your business credit card or your business line of credit to fund your business. Now, in one day, honestly, you could have gotten $50,000 plus in business funding because you opened up your 3 business bank accounts, okay? And so that's what I do. I coach people on exactly how to do that. I guide people through that process, and I make sure that they know how to fund their business effectively and efficiently so that they're able to sit back and relax as they build their business, okay? And one of the other things that I want to tell you about funding, it's so much more, but I just want to make sure that you have a basis. But one of the other things I want to tell you, especially going to different banks, is different banks check different credit bureaus. So for instance, you have Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion credit bureaus, okay? If you go to Bank of America and get a business credit card, they check your TransUnion credit bureau for that. So you're going to get an inquiry or a hard hit on your TransUnion credit bureau. If you go to Navy Federal, they check your Experian credit bureau. So you're going to make sure that you go there and they're going to check your Experian. If you go to Truist Bank, which is a regional bank, they're going to check your Equifax credit bureau. So in one day, you've gotten credit from 3 different banks, but you only have 1 inquiry on each credit bureau. That's called credit stacking. So you can get a lot of credit without looking thirsty to the banks, because Big Brother does not know that you just went to Little Brother to get funding for your business, okay? So in a nutshell, you want to make sure that you are structured, branded, and funded in order to get your passion off the ground and make it profitable. There's so much more. There's so many tax benefits from having your own business. You start out with $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 in tax deductions from having your own business. So that helps you out a lot. And I just wanted to come by and tell you a little bit about how this works. So make sure you follow me. I am Autrina Tillman with Be Intentional LLC, and I'm sure you'll be able to see me in the chat or in the networking session. So come by and see me and talk to me a little bit more about how this business structure works, how this business funding works, how to turn your passion into profit, and stop selling candles on the side and go ahead and register that candle business. Go ahead and get you some funding. Go ahead and get you some tax breaks so you're not paying as many taxes on your job. Stop letting the government take 30% and give them 10% or give them 0% when you have your own business, and just learn more about how to maximize your potential in the United States when it comes to having a business and funding your business, and learning how in the United States, the biggest benefit that you can have tax-wise is if you own your own business. If you're a hardworking individual on a job, unfortunately, you don't get any tax breaks. But when you own a business and when you learn how to create generational wealth and you own your own business, then it allows you to be able to get all those benefits from the government, and just go ahead and maximize your benefits and make sure that your purpose is being met in your life and all that good stuff. So again, thank you so much for coming to visit. Thank you so much for looking at my broadcast or my speech. Thank you so much for listening to what we had to say about turning your passion into profit. And I hope to see you later. I hope to be able to teach you more. I hope to be able to really dig deep and teach you how to stay on track and stay focused as you turn your passion into profit. And I'll see you later.
Thank you for participating in today's enlightening session of Catalyze. As we transition to our next expert, remember that each strategy and insight is a step toward becoming a transformative leader in your field. Visit connectedleadersacademy.com to stay engaged and informed. The journey of change is ongoing. Let's move forward together.